So the Queen 1 box set in all its beauty and glory. Why did we call it Queen 1? It just seemed like we'd always referred to it as Queen 1 anyway, since the days of Queen 2 and onwards, so why not call it Queen 1? Also, it distinguishes this from the original, and it is quite a bit different. It's quite a bit improved in our view, because it's completely remixed. It's not just remastered, this set of original recordings. It's completely remixed in the way which made it sound like we had it in our heads in those days. I always save these bits. I don't like throwing these away because this is part of the package. So I'll probably save that and re-stick it somewhere. So, opening the box. It's a really nice texture. And the first thing we see is the Queen 1 vinyl. So this is my recreated version of the album cover, and it's very, very faithful to the original, but all digitally recreated. So there's a lot more quality, there's a lot more texture in here. The back we also completely digitally recreated, and it's again very, very true to the original. Some things are rescued to make them a little bit more readable, if you like. We don't have the original artwork, so we couldn't go back and remaster that. It all had to be done from original sources, which is the original pictures, which we cut up and pasted on here. So it's the vinyl, and the vinyl is very beautiful. As you will see, comes out, it has all the lyrics on, which the original didn't. This is something which I was keen to include because I thought the label should be something as beauteous as the rest of it. In the old days, it was a rather dull EMI label, generic. So now Queen 1 has its own label. And there it is. High quality vinyl. So here we have what you might call the core of the package, which is 6 CDs. Why 6? What's it all about? Well, the first one is the 2024 mix of the original Queen, in inverted commas, album. And it's the CD version of the vinyl. CD 2, this is the original Delaney sessions, and in a sense it's a reconstruction of a demo which I have in my collection, which has the 5 songs on it. And these 5 recordings are the ones we took around to all the record companies to see if they were interested, and they weren't. And that's the story of this album. We love this. We love the way that our tracks and our performances sound in the Delaney studios. The chaps have remixed this as well, very beautifully. Again, cleaning up a little bit, because in the digital domain you can improve things a little, get rid of noise and stuff. But I find this very pleasant to listen to. Keep Yourself Alive, The Night Comes Down, Great King Rat, Jesus and Liar. So this is the initial seed of what became the first Queen album. Delaney Sessions. CD 3, this is called Sessions, and this is the result of our chaps, Justin and Chris and Josh, going back into the original multi-tracks and finding things which we didn't use on the album. And it's really interesting. So this is what the album might have been like if we'd made different decisions at the time. You find different guitar solos, different vocal takes, and the chaps have been very, very skillful in weaving them into something which actually makes sense as an album. So you can call this an alternative Queen 1 album, if you like. Queen 1 Sessions, we call it. And you'll also hear what went on behind the scenes, in a sense, because at the beginning of the tracks you hear us arguing, talking, discussing, tuning up, having a laugh. So you're very much in the studio with us when you're listening to this Sessions thing. CD 4 is Queen backing tracks, basically the tracks without the vocals, so you can use them as karaoke if you want. Have your way with them without the lead vocals, and generally without the backing vocals as well, I think, although in some cases I think some of them are on there to help you through. CD 5, this one says a BBC recording. And this is a collection of a number of sessions that we did for the BBC in those very early days. One of them before the album came out. In some cases, these are specially put together tracks, so they're kind of half live and half using the tracks that we were putting down in the studio. Two live sessions in different ways, in a sense. They were put together specially for the programme, and this is the first time Queen's music was ever heard on the radio. And then here we have Queen Live. This is a collection of live takes, and the idea initially was to do a live version of the whole album. Not quite possible because we never played The Night Comes Down live, but a lot of lovely, good quality live recordings came from the Rainbow, March 1974, so you'll find quite a lot of these which correspond to the album tracks. But there's a few really nice extras here. There's Hangman, live in San Diego, which we never have released on any kind of record as far as I know, but it was an early staple of the Queen set. So you get a very good feeling on this record, I think, of what Queen were actually like live in those days versus what actually got onto the first album. What else have we got? We have got these little cards, which I rather enjoy. A set of portraits of us, particularly nice shots of us all, I think. Nice dramatic shot of Freddie. Really concentrational shot from me. That's a very studious, very serious guy. Roger looking very glamorous, and Deaky looking very deaky. Next we have a poster. Replica of the back of the first album, the collage, which kind of defined our periphery in those days. The final item is a book, and it's a very substantial book, as you can see, and a lot of its contents are pictures from the day, of course, both live shots on stage and off-stage shots. And we've travelled far and wide to find some of this stuff and find it in the proper quality that we would like. It's joined by a lot of our original lyric writing, as you can see, and you can see the songs in development here in many cases. Here's Hangman, which, as I say, is featured on one of those CDs, but you won't find it anywhere else. Mad the Swine. Mad the Swine is restored to this album. I don't think I mentioned that. That was supposed to be on the original Queen album, and at the last minute it was taken off because Roy didn't feel it was up to standard. And I think people thought the album was too long or something, but for this release, Mad the Swine is restored back in there. All shiny and gleaming and beautiful. A nice little song from Freddie, I think. And some artifacts from the day. Posters, flyers, invitations to the Queen concerts. And there's a lot of history in here, built around the memorabilia. There's a lot of interesting historical stuff on us, and also information about how the albums went out in other countries, not just in Britain. And promo material, original test pressings and acetates, promo pressings, etc. A whole nice little rescued history of that period around when the first Queen album was made. So that's the box set, really.